Hello, stamping friends. How is everyone doing this morning? I'm doing great, and it's just been a whirlwind in my craft room here. I am really having fun playing with the new products, and I'm going to introduce Symbols of Fortune. Actually, I used this on another card earlier, but you know, to tell you the truth, when I look through all the new pattern paper that the mini catalog has, this is the one that I probably least liked, and actually I'm using it quite a bit. It's surprising me. And the reason I like it is because the gold on the backside, that's mostly what I'm using. So I'm going to share another card today. And the background story on this card is that I have needed a boatload of funeral cards, as sad as that is. And so I decided to do kind of a Stamp-A-Stack of my own. It's crazy, but it's just really sad that I need so many. I think in my whole life I've never needed this many. So let me share with you what I came up with. And I also use this design for one of my Creative You projects this month. So let's get started. All we need is Smoky Slate cardstock, and this is cut to 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then I scored it once at 4 1/4 right here, and another time at 5 1/2. And let's fold this in half, and then let me grab my bone folder. I like to use this to give it a nice crease, and so it just looks nicer when it's folded. And then we're just going to fold back, kind of like a Z fold, and I think this is called a storybook fold. It kind of does remind me of a storybook. All right, this is the beginning of the card. So we are just going to adhere this right down the middle of this little spot here. I advise you to put it on this side, because if you put it on here and you get it out too much, then it's going to be not good to have it too sticky over there. So let me grab my Stampin' Seal and just put a couple strips down here, and then just adhere this shut. All right, there's our card base. We are going to take a strip of that Symbols of Fortune, and I chose this one with a smaller print here, and all you have to do is cut a 1 by 4 inch strip and just put some adhesive on the back. And this is going to be kind of the spine of our storybook. I think I told you I cut this 4 inch by 1 inch. There we go. Now for the front of the card, for a funeral card, I never really know what colors to go with, so I am going to do monochromatic. And what I did was I took a 4 by 4 piece of Smoky Slate cardstock, the same color, and I'm going to show you how to use this new embossing folder called Bouquet of Love. And this is a hybrid cut and emboss, and these are the dies that come in it, and this also comes with it, and this is the embossing folder. All right, now I want to show you how to use this. I showed this on a previous video, but in case you missed it, here we go. So you can see a small channel in here, and that's where the heart is going to go. And you want to make sure the blade side is up, and just stick that right in there. And then you're going to take your cardstock, which this is 4 inches by 4 inches, and what this is going to do is emboss and cut at the same time. Now, before you do this, you can line it up by holding your paper against this side. You can see I've used this quite a bit, but that's just kind of like, I would say color stained, because there isn't actually cardstock in there. I took my piercing tool, my pick tool, and tried to get the paper out, but it's actually kind of, there's not cardstock in there. It's just kind of the color is ingrained in there. So I'm going to hold it like this and try to line it up as best as I can in the middle. When you feel that you have that in the middle, then just press down, and remember the cutting blade is on that side. Now I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine, and I did do this before the video so I could keep moving on, and this is how it looks when it comes out of the machine. And do you see how it cut and it embossed? And it's really nice because there's a little stitching line. Now this you can save for something else. You might want to put it on the envelope or maybe the inside of the card, but isn't that pretty? It just makes a nice little effect for tone-on-tone cards. Now we're going to set that aside for a second, and now we are going to stamp an image to go underneath that heart that we just made. So the stamp set that I chose is actually a stamp set that is in the mini catalog, and it's called Amazing Silhouettes. Isn't this pretty? And it is amazing. There's kind of like a little shadow around all these images, and I thought for a funeral it might be nice to have a butterfly. So I'm going to take the same color, Smoky Slate. This is definitely monochromatic. And when you ink this up, be careful, don't pound too hard because you do not want ink to go in where the wings are. I see I got a little bit there. So just very lightly, and then just stamp in the middle of this cardstock. And just to give you an idea of how large that heart is so that you know that what size to stamp this on. It's about 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. And the reason we made this quite a bit larger than needed to be, it's because we want the butterfly to go behind there. And if we have to move this around, we need some wiggle room in case you didn't stamp this right smack in the center. So what I want you to do is just hold it up to that heart how you want it to look. So that looks good to me, but do not tape this down yet, and I'll show you why. Now flip it over. While it's like that, we can adjust it again after I get tape on here. And let me go all 4 sides here. All right, now let's just adjust this again one more time. I think that looks pretty good. Now we'll take our card base. Whoops, not that one. That one doesn't have paper. There it is. And we are going to line this up by centering it. And this is only gonna make the white adhere. The other one we're gonna do later. See how it's not really straight, but that's all right because all that's gonna be covered up. But that way, like I said, you can kind of adjust how you want the butterfly to lie on here. Now we will flip the heart, the die cut heart piece, and let me get my foam adhesive strips. And the reason I chose, I'm trimming some off here. The reason I chose this is because I want this to be really, really popped, quite a bit higher than the rest of the card. So I recommend all 4 corners. And I'm gonna put an extra piece up here and down here because I don't want it to sag, especially where it meets the white paper. So just a little bit more like this. All right, now we can put this on the front of our card and just center that in the middle. And you won't believe the pop on this, but I hope you can see it from your angle. I'll show you at the side too. All right, we're not quite done with this. All right, see how much higher that is? It's about double the thickness of dimensionals. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is take some gold shimmer ribbon, and this is really nice ribbon, and I think it matches, of all of our gold ribbon, I think it matches the paper the best. And then grab a glue dot, and remember when you unroll these, they will come out on this, this piece here. It won't stay on the roll, but our new glue dots come out that way, and just press it on that dot, and then when you lift it, the dot will come off on the ribbon. We're going to put this in the upper corner here. Now we need a sentiment for this, and you know what? This is my go-to. Sometimes you have to dig around in your other stamp sets. You know, sometimes it's all in one, but for me, funeral, I don't have like a set in stone funeral card or funeral stamp set. So I dug for Timeless Tulips, and I seem to go to this stamp set a lot just because of the sentiments. It has, you know, quite a few. They have spring and birthday, hello, Mother's Day, and then here, look at this one. May the memories of yesterday comfort you today. So I'm going to use that one for the inside. And then for the outside, I do the same thing. I go to Art Gallery a lot because look at all the different sentiments, and a lot of times I need just a really small one. So I'm going to take the Sorry stamp out of here. And then we have really nice gold foil sheets. So just take a little snippet of that, my Sorry stamp. And then I have to share with you, when you stamp on gold, it's best to use Stays On because Stays On does what it says, it stays on. If you use Memento, it doesn't really dry as fast, and so then a lot of times I end up smearing it. So what I'm going to do is just stamp Sorry at the bottom, and then I'm going to die cut it using the die that comes in with the hybrid embossing set. You know what? It's this one, but let me show you the die. I forgot to put this on there when I showed you, but look at how skinny tiny that is. So I'm going to die cut this like so, and then we're going to add a little bit more to it. All right, look at how tight that is. That's really a nice fit. What I want to do for this is take one more piece of foam strip, and what's nice about this is it's so thin that it's going to fit on here, and I don't even have to do very much. So I'll put that like that, and then we're just going to place this on the bottom front here, but we're going to go into the heart a little bit just to give it some added interest and try to get it as straight as you can. All right, now it's just missing a little bit of embellishment. So I am going to take these awesome classic matte dots that came out in the mini catalog. These are nice old dots that have two sizes, and there's white, vanilla, basic gray, I'd say, and black. And I think we're going to tie in the gray, or actually the smoky slate again. So we're just going to put two because there's two little notches out here where they fit in nicely. Your pick tool really comes in handy because there's a rubber end and it'll grab your dots, and then it's kind of like an extension of your fingers, so you don't have to, you know, your fingers sometimes get in the way of doing things like this. All right, now let's play with the inside, but here's the outside. We have gold trim on here with a monochromatic card, and then on the inside, I took a 4x4 basic white cardstock, and then remember that sentiment from the tulips, Timeless Tulips, is what I'm going to use on the inside. So just stamp that in the middle. And because I kind of have a butterfly theme going, what I did was I took my dies from Brilliant Wings, and you get a whole bunch of butterfly shapes, and look at how intricate this is. So I am going to grab my glue dots again and just put one on the back of this butterfly, kind of in the middle of his body, like that. And I like to kind of bend his wings back, even though he's probably going to get smushed when the card is shut. And then just put him off to an angle. You can put him up or down, but I usually want to write a little bit down there, so I'm going to aim up for this. And it'll just add a little something pretty that will tie in the outside of that card. So let's add some Stamp and Seal here and put this in the middle of the card. And then we are almost done. So this is the one, like I said, I did stamp a stack because I have so many to send, and I hate to say I made even a couple extra. If you're like me, it just takes longer to make a onesie card, I call them. But when you do many at a time, it's just faster and easier to just do quite a few more, and then you have them ready to go in your card box for when you need them. All right, there's our little sympathy card. I hope you enjoyed this and the kind of like fun fold here. And if you see any products that you just can't live without, I encourage you to shop on my Stampin' Up! Website. And if you don't mind using the host code, that really helps me. It's right up here. And if you're viewing this and my host code has expired, just remember you can always find it on my blog on the right-hand side. Now, if your order is over $35, that means you qualify for Creative You. You do have to use the host code as well. And that just means you get the 3 projects that we make at my in-person class, and you get it for free, along with the PDF to create it. And that's my way of saying thank you for your business, and I appreciate that. Remember, it's Celebration, and if your order is over $50, then you get free products that are located in the Celebration catalog, and I have those on my blog. And also check out the new mini catalog, which is where this paper was found. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. And remember, I do my videos on Tuesday and Friday mornings at 9 o'clock a.m. Arizona time. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.